Yeah, it was it was 20 degrees last night. I'd seen it coming, so uh, I camped up in the mountains. Found a really nice place in the oaks, ponderosa pine, alligator, juniper, cows. There's some fences. They do a lot of grazing kind of stuff up in the national forest in the Chiricahuas, in the southern part of the Chiricahuas. But there was this really nice spot, and there were a lot of rocks. That's why I chose it. Well, it's sheltered from the wind and had all the rocks, and I built all the rocks into a big reflective fireplace with logs against the back wall and my tent right across from it. I knew I'd be warm at 20 degrees. And, well, that day wasn't coming for about 4 days, but I I knew I'd be better off up there at 6,000 feet than I would be down in the desert where it's all farmed down here in the Sulphur Valley. I'm up north of Wilcox now. This is the night after the 20-degree night. So here it is, 35 degrees. I don't have that blazing fire tonight. I mean, I had some blazing fires. There were oak groves everywhere. There were miles and miles and miles of forest up there. It's just a huge basin that, well, between 5,500 and the peaks were up at about 7,500, I reckon. And it spread over 15 miles. Rode around it one day, went way out to the end of Rucker Canyon. Well, there's still some hiking beyond that I'd like to do to go up to the gates and to the grotto. But I only ate a light breakfast, so I rode to the end of the road and met a man, the only person I met in 4 days. He's really very kind. Left me with a couple of beers. I built up that fire. I patched a little bit. I read a lot. I I lived up there for 4 days, waiting for that real cold night. And I had the wood in, and I had uh, I had myself drilled to where I would get up and actually feed the fire so it would stay warm, and um, blazed it up in a moment when I woke up. Just stayed warm all night. Uh, Packed up by the warmth of the fire and set off. It was still only about freezing, and figured I'd go down into lower elevations and it'd be warmer, and knowing the next night wasn't going to be so bone-chillingly cold. So here we are now. It's been cold all day, and the wind kind of side me and maybe a little bit against me, and not much for me any. I'm a little tiny bit in the last. It's good and strong, and a little tiny bit for me in the last of it, and I made it down to the Wilcox Playa's big natural area and bottom of the basin, place I've camped before, but now I'm a little farther back in. And also, since I camped here before, I had looked at the basin a little more thoroughly from up top of Mount Graham, and I'm comfortable. It's gonna be cold tonight. I've got 3 blankets, 2 sleeping bags, and a blanket, and I got a good meal. And when I make sandwiches for supper, I toast them up pretty good, and it's got a barbecue in it. It's nice and moist on the inside and crispy on the outside, and it's got a lot of flavor. And I hope y'all are having a good night too. Peace.